dreams within reach. It's time to rise. Body, soul, and mind, open your eyes. Climbing higher, step by step. Real talk, no regrets get set. One step, one love, we rise. Walk the talk, break free. Get to the truth, your story's the proof.
Welcome back again, friends and family. This is the Living Proof Podcast, and I am your host, Ryan Keys. And this is the podcast where we keep it real, where we keep it simple, and we put one foot in front of the other. We walk the talk, we practice what we preach, we take everything that we've learned, and we start living by it. So today, we're going to talk about why waiting for a miracle could be, maybe, most likely is, keeping you stuck. And before we jump into that, I just want to encourage you to look at the links down below. Feel free to join us for our Patreon group. We're going to be doing a few Sundays a month where we do a Zoom and we come in and we come together, stand as a community. We give energy, prayer, and we offer up support for people because times are tough. And there's also, you can choose whatever tier you like based on the contribution. It is a donation. I'm not exchanging anything for your help other than I am sharing everything that I've learned and trying to help you to practice what you preach as well, to put that information that you've been collecting all this entire time into a conscious space, into a reality where it really works for you. So follow me on Instagram as well, and then I will respond to you in the comments down below. If you've got a prayer request or you want some energy put on something, please step forward in the comments, let us know, and anyone that is following this will add you to their prayer list, their intention list, and we will lift you up daily. And if you've got a miracle to share, don't be shy. Go down below and let us know. Also, please subscribe and share this with anyone that you feel could benefit from it. So why waiting for a miracle could be keeping you stuck? Have you ever felt stuck? I felt stuck. I actually feel stuck a little bit right now. Well, waiting for that one thing to happen may be one of the reasons why you're stuck. And you're not alone. So many of us do it. So many of us sit around hoping for that miracle, that phone call, that person, right? That tribe, that better job, that healthy relationship, or that breakthrough that just always seems out of reach, right? Here's the secret from my concepts after everything that I've done and learned and shared and helped people. Miracles don't come to those who wait. Why? Miracles come to those who act. Faith is an action, right? A prayer is not a place to plant yourself. It is a plea. It is a position, a perspective that you must begin acting on as if. So today we're going to dive in why waiting could be keeping you stuck and how you can co-create miracles through small and intentional steps. And hopefully by the end of this episode, not only will you know something deeper about yourself, you'll feel a little bit less stuck, and you'll want to share this with somebody as well. Because you'll also know how to take charge of your life, right? Without waiting for permission from God. Waiting for permission. So let's get into it. The first part that I wanted to go over is some of the hidden dangers of passive waiting. You might ask, well, how could that be dangerous, right? Well, in my experience, no matter what you practice, what you put your faith into, passive faith leads to stagnation, right? Miracles are the results of a shift in perception, and they often are waiting on you to take the first step, that leap of faith. So I want to start with a little story that's relatable, hopefully. Picture this, right? Somebody's been waiting for their dream job to magically appear for months. It's on your dream board. Every day they're checking their email, their phone. They're scrolling through their text. They are praying for some kind of sign. They're tuning the radio to see if they can get some kind of synchronicity. They are just a little bit in limbo, that area where you're wanting, you're waiting, you're hoping, you're praying, but you're not connecting, right? This is the catch. I believe that applying for a single job, right, is not the way to go. I believe that consistently applying and putting yourself out there. So don't wait for the one. Don't wait for the one person. Don't wait for the one job. You are, in effect, in a state of motion, right? You're perfecting yourself as opportunities come in, because each event, right? Let's say you have this dream job, you applied for it, and you're planting everything that you believe on that job. But God, universe, has something way better for you, because you don't really know how good you are at this point, because you're still dealing with some residual obstacles, and that job doesn't come through. But you planted in it, and you planted in it so deeply that when the sun stops shining on that spot, you're sitting there in the dark, not knowing what to do, right? So we need to transition that. This is what I call passive faith, and it feels like faith, but in reality, it's disguised as procrastination, where you think you might be putting all your intent and you're planting yourself in a space. You might think that it's necessary to completely halt and anchor and align with that job, person, or position in order for it to manifest and come through. Well, you send that prayer out, right? Even A Course in Miracles teaches us that miracles are not external. They're internal shifts, right? They happen when we change the way we perceive the situation. In fact, here's a quote from The Course in Miracles. Miracles occur naturally as an expression of love. They are not meant to change the world. They're meant to change our perception of the world. So one of the things that I want to talk about is that perfect person, perfect job, perfect people, perfect position is, if it's not in a state of movement, it's going to hold you back, right? So yes, that dream job comes across your Indeed.com, and you're like, hey, let me apply for that. And you send off your resume, you fire it off. Seed planted. Let it be covered up. Don't stop looking. Don't stop booking. Don't stop moving forward. That's your perfect job for that moment. You planted a seed. You gave it to God. And if it's going to come back, glory. If it's not, you're moving forward, because God may have something better for you. You don't know, right? Like what I'm dealing with in my life, right? I'm taking everything that I've learned in the esoteric world and in the religious side of the world, and I'm bringing those together. And I'm saying, God, I need a miracle, but I don't want to beg for that miracle. I planted that seed. Heal my body, mind, and soul. Support me through the course of this journey as I understand the ailments and the neurological disorder I'm going through. But I'm going to work as if, act as if. That wish is fulfilled. I'm healed. I'm moving forward. And if my physical healing doesn't catch up fast enough, it's going to have some work to do, right? Because my soul and my mind and my emotion, they're moving towards healing, right? That's who I am. That's who I need to be in order for that most pristine, most promising, most high potential probability to pop into my field. I need to be on, right? Because I never want to be stuck in waiting, wanting, or in lack. I'm always moving. If you're waiting for life to hand you a miracle without doing the work, you're going to be waiting forever. And I understand from the esoteric community, when I used to be there through Esther Hicks and all these other people, not throwing shade, but you're being taught this passive idea that you can put it on your dream board and you don't have to do anything. It's going to suddenly be there. And I've really seen, even with the twin flame situation or relationships, where people, they're floundering. They're losing their faith. They're losing their energy. They're drifting into the dark because they locked themselves, they anchored themselves to an aligned thing that doesn't seem to be manifesting. And here's the thing. It doesn't mean that job that you applied for, if it hasn't come forward in 6 months, isn't the job, right? It doesn't mean that you move on, take another job, that dream job doesn't show up. But what it means is that you're aligning with the act of doing and being and becoming. So that job might be somewhere down the road for a different version of you, right? So here's a little practical fix so we can start moving forward. And I learned this from Mel Robbins with the 5-second rule. Catch yourself when you're hesitating or you're waiting for the perfect moment or person, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then take action. You apply for another job. You send another message, you take another step, you get your you put your heels in your best dress on, you go out and you start mingling, you go to the gym, you do something, you don't sit in that state of lack, right? Lack will not lead you anywhere other than less. So also, for me personally, since this is called living proof and becoming that which I've talked about, practicing what I preach, walking the talk, I've sat around waiting for signs too. Honestly have. But you know what my sign has always turned out to be? A missed opportunity. My sign, as I sat waiting for whatever it was to work out, my sign was always that it sailed away. So I had to, let the universe drag me kicking and screaming to what I am actually deserving of, or what is within my potential, because it was so hard for me to see some of the things about myself that I deserved. So I needed to have more faith and believe that sometimes that person or that place or that job or that little seed you planted, it may be beneath what you're really capable of. It might be the old you that did that. It might be the version of you that always undercuts yourself. It might be the self-limiting version that is locked in there. So sometimes you got to step out and say, hey, maybe there's more about me I don't get. Maybe there's more about me that I don't understand, right? So in order to do this, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that sounds fun, but let's partner with our subconscious, right? Because your subconscious is constantly working behind the scenes, just like God. It's working to create your reality, right? So planting the right seeds are very important, and letting them have time to germinate, to grow, and keep on going forward and acting as if, I believe miracles will follow. So now that we've talked about a little bit of the danger or the concerns of passive praying, passive waiting, being passive, let's talk about the powerhouse of sitting quietly in the backyard for a few moments after you plant that seed. Because there is a moment where you don't move. And your subconscious mind is going to be there. God's going to be there. The Holy Spirit's going to be there. You're going to be there. So if you don't believe you're worthy of a miracle, your mind will do everything possible to prove you right. So we need to lock in and drop in. So yes, plant that seed, send that text, make that call, show up at that interview, right? And then take a short amount of time after you plant that seed to set the tone, to fertilize it, to give it the best opportunity to germinate. Because your subconscious mind takes orders that you give it based on what you truly believe. So you need to really think about this. Are you planting that seed with doubt and you're reaping this stagnation? Or are you planting that seed with faith and it really is coming to full fruition because of the miracle that you already recognize within yourself? This is where gratitude really helps too. So think of your mind as a garden, and you can expect the flowers that you plant to bloom if you are planting them with faith. But if you're planting a seed and it somehow is beneath what you are capable of or what you are being called to do, it may end up a weed, right? Because every negative thought is going to take root as well. Every moment you doubt yourself is going to pour in like a poison into that soil, and it's going to take over. So you need to constantly be aware, be in this moment. So I want to do just a little quick guided visualization to give you a way to tap that subconscious into this process. So visualize the outcome. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe it's a healthy relationship. Maybe it's the one. Maybe it's financial freedom. Maybe in my case, it's personal physical healing, right? And what type of freedom that brings. And feel the emotion of achieving it. Feel the joy. Feel the relief. Feel that future state of gratitude as you've gained that space, gained that job, gained that person, gotten your healing. And let that emotion wash over you and sink in and saturate even this moment you planted that seed. And I want you to say this with me out loud. I am open. I am worthy. and I am ready to receive God's miracle. I am open, I am worthy, and I am ready to receive God's miracle. And I'm not trying to garnish your faith in any particular God. I say go to what makes you feel comfortable. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here at the crossroads. I'm here to help you make that decision to go right or left and still bring your best, right? So how do miracles come through action, you might ask, right? You know, there's this guy named Smith Wigglesworth. I always like that name, Wigglesworth. Mr. Wigglesworth. Faith is an act. When you move, God moves, right? What's the translation of that? Faith is not a passive feeling. That decision is not a passive feeling. That dream board can't be a passive process. It has to be active. So think about it, right? Yeshua just didn't stand on the water, right, and hope to stay afloat. He walked. He moved. He commanded. He was in charge. He commanded his body and mind and emotions to be present. So you don't have to know every step of the journey, but you do have to take the first step, and you have to take it fully. It has to be on fire, right? It has to be something that comes from that within space, that is that igniting space. It's got to be that flick of the switch, that light switch, click, it's on, right? You know, I once had a coaching client who was stuck in a dead-end job. They were scared to leave it, but they were tormented to stay. And they kept applying for new positions and getting rejected. And so I made a deal. I said, I'm going to help you. So she kept applying, and it didn't work out. And then I was like, let's try something. You feel like you're stuck in this dead-end job. You feel like it's beneath you. You feel like it's not going to work out. You hate it. You hate showing up at work. We need to alter that, because you can't take a leap of faith from lack. And right now you're at a loss. So you need to be the best you can be, and to show yourself that you're at the optimum. You're operating at your highest frequency. You're operating at your highest potential. You're operating in the highest vibe that you can, even though you don't belong there. Because I want to take that beautiful version of you, that powerful version, that dynamite sparked version, the one that is special, the one that is better than that job. She needs to glow bright so that that job burns away and the next opportunity shows up for that shine. So we did that, and then we started applying, and then one by one, other opportunities came in. It was almost predictable. It was almost like a psychic event, right? But it's how it works. So as she started to ramp up and to feel special inside, as she started to feel connected inside and not allowing the lack of where she was at as a loss, but became the boss of what she was and where she was at and thrived, the other opportunity came in. And again, this new opportunity is not the ideal, but is better than it was. And what it shows me is that as we're fine-tuning the faith and the process, the next job will be at the next level if she can maintain the ability to bling it out, to bring it out, to shine, no matter the circumstance where she's planted, right? And this is the premise of how I've worked with the 5-Minute Miracle that I'm working on. I'm writing that book right now. I'm challenging you to write down one thing that you've been waiting for, right? Break it into small, actionable steps, and you can start to take it today. And then as you take your phone, whatever it is, set a 5-minute timer, and I want you to imagine yourself wherever you are. What can you do today in your job, in your space, in your relationship, to bubble up, to effervesce that excitement, that potential that will pull that other opportunity to you and push the one that you feel is no longer right for you away? Because we want to use our energy instead of our effort when it comes to shifting from one space to another. That's what alignment is, right? So, and I challenge you to take 5 minutes each day in the morning or before you go to bed and to make that actionable step about something, right? And remember, prayer is not begging. So you plant the seed, let it sit, cover it up, and keep going. Act as if, right? That wish is fulfilled. And it's tough. You want to go back. You want to dig it up. You want to see how it's doing underneath the soil. So you'll be tempted, but don't do it. Every time you want to go back, just say, thank you for that job. Thank you for that next opportunity. Thank you, God, for giving me the ability to shine where I'm at, even though that other opportunity hasn't shown up yet. Thank you for giving me the ability to sit here and to shine and to sparkle and to bring that opportunity to me. I'm going to keep going, right? Because basically what you're doing is you're learning to also befriend fear. Because fear isn't a stop sign. It's a signal that you're growing, right? You might be afraid that you don't have enough money. You might be afraid you're going to be alone. You might be afraid of yada, 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 whatever it is, right? I've been paralyzed by fear. I just got some news from my doctor. It was paralyzing. I was 24 hours, I was under the bus, right? Like, oh my God, this new part of the diagnosis, that kills me. That means I could be dead in 2 to 5 years. That's not what I want. And that was overwhelming. I let this person steer me into fear. But that fear is not proof that I'm failing. That fear is also not proof that his diagnosis was right. That fear was only proof that I am out of control and I need to come back to center. I need to level up, right? Because my body was taking that fear as a signal, and it was like, whoa. It was changing course rapidly, and it was going to provide that outcome on its own. So I had to reframe that. And I do a series of reframing exercises that I talk about in my 5-minute miracle as well. When you feel fear, I always repeat this. Fear means I'm stepping into growth and I'm capable of handling whatever happens. Fear means I'm stepping into growth and I'm capable of handling whatever happens. Right? What's the worst that can happen? You die. But that's not the end, my friends. I've died twice, and there's definitely something beyond this, I promise. But don't let that drive you to that end goal. Live your life magnificently. I don't want to die anytime soon. I want to live a bright, beautiful life and tap into this beautiful space. And then I want to do an actionable exercise to bring that forward. I want to write down the fear that I'm currently facing, which I did, and that was a fear that I wanted, of this diagnosis, and it could be challenging for my longevity. And I identified one thing I could do to take that and move through that. I faced that diagnosis. I looked it down in the face, and I broke it down into the symptoms that came with that diagnosis, and I deciphered it. I'm like, I don't have that, and I don't have that. So this is ungrounded. This is unfounded. This is just a person's opinion. I'm not going to let that person's opinion to become my reality. So then, I stepped through that, and I moved through that, and I used my logic to lead me. Don't let your emotions, you want your emotion to be the water that feeds the seed, but you don't want it to get in the way as well. Logic and emotion coming together is what will create motion. Emotion can create stagnancy, but emotion with logic will bring you forward, because think of it like being led by the head with your heart, right? So here's the challenge as you start to look at why waiting for a miracle could be one of the things that is actually holding you back. Take a bold step today, whether it's applying for a job, sending a text, asking that person out, starting a new project, or telling somebody, I'm sorry. It could be as simple as, hey, you know what, I'm sorry. Because miracles aren't about divine timing as much as they're about a faith-driven action, right? You don't wait for what God has for you, because God's going forward. God's in the present moment continually. Omnipresent means everywhere but here. Everywhere is here, right? God doesn't have to be in the past, the future, because here is everywhere at once. So as long as you're maintaining course with that and staying in a space of active intention, and it's tough. You get stuck. We drift. Music even is like a time machine. It takes us back to the past and places where we failed. And failure is growth. It's not a reminder that you can't make it, right? So continue, because miracles aren't about divine timing. You're at the perfect place right now, and you're the perfect person. As long as you tap into that and you recognize that, there's nothing in your life that has happened that wasn't supposed to happen to get you here, because where you are right now is pretty amazing. It's pretty empowering. It's pretty fantastic. So I'm going to say a quick prayer. Wherever two or more are gathered in agreement, as touching what they agree upon is as in heaven, as on earth. And we come together right now, you, me, and everyone else, and we say, protect us, guide us, provide for us. Show us the way. There are no closed doors when it comes to God. It's only curves and continued movement forward. Give us the grace and glory and help us, provide for us. Show us the way. Show us the light. Stand by us. And give us the grace and the gratitude to know that you've been doing it the entire time. And when we feel weak, when we feel we might stumble, stand in the gap for us. And body, come in line with the Spirit of God, with the intent of creation. Body, soul, mind, come in line with God. We are one with the Creator and our Creator, and we stand on that promise. Have a beautiful, wonderful evening or afternoon or morning, wherever you are. This is Living Proof, and I am your host, Ryan Keys, and I encourage you to join me on Patreon for those live Zoom sessions where we can take it a step further and we can share face-to-face and stand together. I'll see you soon. Share this with somebody that needs it. Peace, light, and love.
Keeping it real, healing in hearts, moving souls is the deal. Ryan Keys in the mix, we've got your back, that's a fact. Dreams within reach, it's time to rise. Body, soul and mind, open your eyes. Climbing higher, step by step, real talk, no regrets get set. One step, one love, we rise. Walk the talk, break free, get to the truth, your story's the proof. Follow me, let's rise, let's see, set you free, meant to be, leading the way we start today. Dreams within reach, it's time to rise. Body, soul, and mind, open your eyes. Climbing higher, step by step, real talk, no regrets get set. One step, one love, we rise. Walk the talk, break free, get to the truth, your story's the proof.